public. Don't be mean or rude. Be nice because they're...
Yeah, but a bully is different.
Yeah, I know I should bully them, but here's the good news.
Here's my bank account.
Yes, exactly, right? I'm number one on Cameo. Hello.
Hello.
But then I started to get... So the show comes out, I start to get just battered. Like, No Neck Ed, and they're doing memes. No Head and Shoulders. Guess what kind of shampoo Ed uses? And then they made fun of my hair, my hairy legs, the hair in my nose. I'm like, what? He's a big crybaby. All just everything you can imagine. And then I started to get letters from people like, hey, I have Clipophile just like you. I saw you on TV, and there are mornings that I can't get out of bed because I'm so depressed. How do you have the courage to go on national TV and put mayonnaise in your hair? And I'm like, well, first of all, it's international TV, 166 countries. No, but so I was able to respond to them like, look, you have to love who you are. And I know that sounds corny, and I learned a lot of that on The Last Resort, is that God gave you one body and one personality, and you just have to take advantage of it in every different way. And I think we can go through life being impactful. You don't necessarily have to be funny. You can, Liz is a very generous person. If she sees, somebody in a wheelchair or an elderly person, she'll stop and feed them. And if we're at a restaurant, I miss a lot of those things. Like, I don't have that particular filter, but I can go into, a classroom and just make people laugh and bring joy to them. So it's, has fame changed me? Absolutely not. No, it has, but it comes with a cost. Yeah. And that cost is they know everything about you. They know more about you than you remember about you. And it starts, it can begin to define who you are. And I learned, early on in therapy that Big Ed was a character that I created for TV. And when people attack you or love you, they're not loving Ed or attacking Ed. They're attacking, Big Ed. And then there's also so my therapist would be like, there's two people I'm treating here, by the way. And I heard a great quote by Jim Carrey, who said sort of the same thing. If you create a character on TV and can't separate who you are from that character, you'll go to your grave grasping for who you were or who you wanted to become. So I'm fortunate, though, that it happened to me at a later stage in life where, it's
not a good thing.
It is.
If it had happened when you were 25, it probably would have had a different outcome.
So for Liz, I really didn't understand what she was going through, because she was getting attacked, just like I was. I was getting attacked because I was so popular and I looked different, but I was also getting a lot of love. Well, Liz would be, and I can let her kind of speak about that.
Yeah, it's been 10 minutes. You said 2.
Oh, okay.
Minutes,
well,
and now
I said short story long. I know, really. But yeah, so I'll turn it over to Liz, and and we'll get back to when I was 5.
Liz, okay, yes. I need to hear from you. I mean, the last season of Happily Ever After, how hard was it? I mean, you guys, when you left, you guys were not fan favorites. I mean, people were like online demanding you not be on TLC anymore. They called it toxic. They gave you a hard time for not standing up to him more. So do you think all that backlash was warranted, or did we not see a lot?
Well, people keep coming back to watch the show, obviously. And then you can't have reality TV without drama, and we make really great drama. So
just normally,
you're welcome.
Not we're naturally crazy, I guess.
Yeah. But as far as you do have to separate yourself from the show and still be individual people outside of it too. So backlash, it's always tough. People can say really hurtful things, but I've never had one person walk up to me in front of my face and be harsh like that to me. Everyone they are so quick to say things online, but when they meet you in person, they're completely different too.
They want a picture.
I was going to say, they want a photo.
They want a picture. Oh, my God.
And all of a sudden they forget kind of a lot of the scenes. And it's like, oh, is Ed here? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
You know,
But it's nasty. It's a whole different universe. You have the lovers and you have the haters. I remember a time not being able to get out of bed myself. And now I just don't read comments, and which I love to try to respond to all the positive ones. But then you just read one and it just shoots you down. And my life is with Ed. People don't get to see the good parts of us. They only get to see the negative.
Okay.
And, when people meet us, they're like, oh, you guys are very like affectionate and loving and sweet. But a lot of people don't see that.
Well, tell us what are some of the good parts about Ed, because we don't, right? I mean, Happily Ever After we didn't.
I don't think we have that much time. How much time? How much time?
Ed, I think we have a few minutes.
Have? I'm kidding. We could squeeze you in.
Ed,
we'll cancel the next session. We can go on and on.
No, Ed is very sweet, and there's a difference between who Ed is, and there's a huge difference between Big Ed. And over time, I got to know Ed. Big Ed was trying to like impress me when he first met me and everything. I was not taken by it at all.
She said to me one time, and it hurt my feelings. She goes, "I'm not a fan. I'm not your fan."
He was very offended.
Like, I'm not your fan.
Yeah.
Right. I'm telling you right now. And
that hurt her feelings, so I feel like that's a good thing. She's like there for you.
No, but think about this guy that wants the love. Like, he's falling in love with the. At that point, I was in love with myself in a way, like the fame, and I'm like, "What do you mean you're not my fan? Look at my sticker. Quit putting those stickers on my gym boxes. Her water bottles. I put my sticker on. Like, don't do that. I go, whoa. When you're at the gym, people they'll know Big Ed. I don't want them to know I know Big Ed. So I had it completely flipped around. I took it as like, oh, she doesn't like Big Ed. She doesn't love me. But what Liz was trying to tell me was, I love the Ed. I want the Ed and not the Big Ed. And I would have, my family members, I'd call my brother to go see my nephews. I'm like, well, tell them I'm coming. And he's like, okay, well, fine. They told me to tell you, though, they want to see Ed.
Wow.
So I got it. Like, you understand.
Well, because he loves to hear himself talk, obviously. The things that I love about Ed, back to me, complimenting you. Ed, he would cook for me. If I stayed the night, I'd go to work in the morning. He had breakfast ready for me to go. I wasn't a breakfast person, but he always wanted to make sure I had my protein in. He'd bring me coffee if he knew I was working double shifts. He would come help with Riley, because Riley would go. My daughter would come with me to work during the pandemic, and he'd come and entertain her. It started off as us just being friends and talking late after work because neither of us wanted to go home. Sorry, babe. He would get stood up a little bit on dates, and then I'd be like,
all the time.
Yeah.
Not stood up before Liz, I joined these dating websites, and now I know what women go through. I would show up at these restaurants, and these women, they would use their high school photograph, and I couldn't even recognize who I was, and they would be like, oh, I just wanted to meet Big Ed. I'm like, you know what? I just drove 45 minutes to Escondido, and I'm really trying to meet someone. So I kind of just gave up, and I'm like, I'm never going to meet anyone. So
back to me again.
Thank you. Cut to Liz.
Ed would come to, I would be like, there's a glass of wine here for you if you want to just come and vent. Because we would just text and, we were just friends.
Yeah.
So then I think over time, just talking multiple times after work, I just got to see a completely different side of him. So yeah, he would bring me coffee, cook for me. He would have my bubble bath ran, glasses of champagne. He was always very sweet. If I was having a bad day, he'd send me flowers. Ed's a very romantic person. So there's a side that people don't get to see. And he's a gift giver for like his love language, but it's not my love language.
Oh.
My love language is acts of services and quality time. So even going out, it was, well, I just want to stay inside and watch a movie with you, because I just got to be next to him. And acts of services were him, having just bringing me food or...
Okay, so who, like, I mean, after the tell-all, it looked pretty bad. Was it bad for you? Like, at the Ed had kind of mentioned he was done after the tell-all. Were you? I mean, it seemed like you guys...
So the thing is we always say we're done, and then we always come back together. But Ed and I have so much history and so many memories. I can go through my phone, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I remember this day. I mean, I have a scrapbook of every hotel key card that, we've ever stayed at a hotel. We have all these great memories. Was I done in that moment? Yeah, but there's still all these emotions and feelings, and tell-alls are heavy, and a lot happens, and you don't know what's coming your way, and you need time to decompress from it. I mean, even still to this day, we'll film, and we need 2 days to recover from it, to go back to like our own reality outside of reality TV. So I was hurt, I was done, but then obviously I wasn't done.